This is Reid Daniels, aka the Culture Referee, and I'm about to jump off the porch for my brother Spitty and the Dirty Glove Bastards.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We right back at it, y'all. We got a special edition of Off the Porch right here, man. We got my day one partner, Reid Daniels, the Culture Referee, jumping off the porch with us today. What's up, bro? I'm
happy to be here, man. This is exciting. I feel like I've seen this go from your thoughts to physically being here, and that's what winners do. You know, like
for sure.
I want to give you that because you know a lot of the times, man, like. You know, it's somebody out there that's seeing this and they see us celebrating, like, look at me, I'm up, but they don't really understand, like, we was lost in the trenches.
Yes, for sure.
We didn't, you know, it was just kind of like job or starve.
Yeah.
Win or starve. So, you know, and then you get that I think I could build something too for myself. Yeah. So seeing this, bro, I'm like, I could be more proud, man.
Nah, for sure. And we touched on it a little bit before the camera started rolling, but I mean, I remembered us talking and you know, like me really doing like the marketing agency thing and, you know, really trying to be like connected to the labels. Yep. And, you know, I remember some game you gave me early on was like, hey man, like even with the marketing stuff, tap in with all the underground artists because they all love you. Like,
I always pushed you.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm going to tell you a little something. I never said this before. I've always been envious of marketing guys. Because I was a product guy, right? Mm-hmm. In the music business, when you do A&R, you make the product, right?
Yeah.
But that's specific to one product.
Right.
When you can market anything, right?
Sure.
And in the music business, when you do A&R, it's like, where do they go?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was always like just seeing guys like yourself, like I'm like, man, you're brilliant. And obviously in our business, the A&Rs get way more rewarded, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but like you are always a star, man. Right. And when I did Wiz on my show, I remember I met Wiz with you. He had like at the studio, and you was like, yo, this kid, and I'm like, and I always saw people like you. So, you know, it's hard to be in this business and be solid.
Nah, for sure.
It's hard to be in this business because, you know, it's a lot of shady characters
Absolutely.
in every business, but it's hard in this business because the stakes are so high.
And it's easy to almost be influenced to give people the same energy they give you, and then you become just as snakish.
Exactly.
Or you know what I mean?
And I'm glad you said that because on the way over here, I got a call from a friend about a friend of ours that was talking crazy about me. And I was like, man, that's crazy because all I really want is to see that person win.
Hey.
And for me, it's like, but the thing that I realized is that when you hating on somebody else, you really hating on yourself.
Yeah, that's real.
Because you really telling the world, I don't think he deserves it. And the world is like, well, I don't think you deserve it.
Yeah.
You know, if you cheer for other people, if you can't clap when someone else is winning, even if they beat you, you ain't going, how you expect people to clap for you when you winning?
Right.
For me, so, you know.
Because most of the time you finding those things within you that like, you're scared, like if it's fear that's holding you back, then your fear is gonna make you then, you know, block this person.
And not only that, sometimes that fear makes you resent someone who didn't have it in them. Or what they don't know is that I'm scared to death every day. I know you probably are too, like, because it's like, what if this don't work? But that fear is what wakes us up in the morning. That fear is what makes us drive. That fear is what have us there. It's a scene from Rocky. Rocky was talking to this guy, I think it's Rocky 5. And he was talking to the guy, and he was like, you're not afraid of nothing? He was like, I ain't afraid of nothing. And he was like, how do you live not being afraid of nothing? Right. Like that fear in you makes you do things better. It's like,
for sure.
I don't want to lose over there, so I'm gonna work harder. That's fear.
Nah, for sure.
And if you don't have that, then what motivates you?
Yeah, it's
you know
like, because I see it as like, well, I remember reading like the 50th Law, and like when Robert Greene and 50 Cent got together, like they basically like the common denominator was that the 50th Law was being fearless.
Yes.
But then when 50 described being fearless, it wasn't this machismo way of thinking of like, I'm invincible. Yeah. It was just a way of like taking that fear, but then overriding it with
it is there.
Yeah.
It is never gonna go away.
Right.
Like, yo, bro, I swear to God, some nights right now I can't sleep because I'm so afraid of did I do enough today?
Yeah, right.
Like, damn, did I do enough? Like, what if what I did today don't work? What if tomorrow that changes? That motivates me, and it actually makes me a better person because we don't think it can happen to you.
Right.
We think the good stuff can happen to us, but we don't think the bad stuff can. So I know good can happen, but I know bad can too. But I also know if you're a good person and you really are who you say you are, and you encourage people, you help people, then it gives a better chance for you to win. And I think that's what me and you at now winning season.
Absolutely. So man, like, let's go into your background though, bro, because like, you know, you're from I would say like you're from the Mecca of hip hop, and then you're from the current Mecca of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Representing New York, South Bronx, right? Yeah. That's where you were born.
Yeah, you making my lady really happy because everybody want me to claim the Bronx so bad. But by the way, I will say the advantage of being in the Bronx. The Bronx made me appreciate Atlanta for what it is more than anything I've ever experienced in my life. Because, you know, even when I go back there to this day, bro, I still be like, I can't believe I lived here. I can't believe that was my life. And when I look at my life now, and it's like, it wouldn't have been possible if I didn't get to Atlanta and actually see it's possible. That's why I always encourage people like you and myself talk, because there's a kid that's like, I don't want to be Michael Jordan. I don't want to be Drake. But I could be that guy.
That's real.
And if that guy ain't out there, then we just setting our kids up in the community to want to be the same thing. And you and I know millionaires that never have to show their face. So it's like, you know, but it's like we have a different responsibility in our culture than most cultures, because we already started behind the 8 ball.
Right.
So we kind of got to give each other a break, but actually talk to each other and talk loud, because if a kid don't see me or you, like, you dope as hell, bro. Like, I ain't never see you unhappy. Hey, always see you smiling, and it's because you living in your purpose. And I just want people to know that that's possible. So I'm big on that, bro.
Yeah, nah, for sure, man. I mean, I remember like watching Crush Groove back in the day, seeing Blair Underwood play
Russell Simmons,
but just looking at that, and I knew, I was like, man, I don't want to be a rapper. I want to be one of these dudes behind the scene, or you know what I mean, hearing about Tony Draper, or hearing about you know what I mean, Jay Prince, and being like, you know what, I could be one of these dudes that's running some of that. Or
bro, for me it was backstage. When seeing Dame Dash. Like but it was him getting his hair cut, and it wasn't, and he was going off for Kevin Lyles, but it wasn't that. It was how X spoke about him. It was like when you hear somebody speak about somebody, you usually hear your team, but it was like X, Meth, Reid, Ja, Herb, all talking about this man who was just really, if anything, just a big brother figure. In these guys' life, like, you ain't messing with my little brothers. You ain't going, and also telling them, and there's a scene in backstage where Dame says, I can't go back to knocking on doors. I can't go back. Oh my God, I don't ever want to go back. That sticks with me, because I'm like, I can't go back. But the game is changing, so you gotta pivot and find other ways to assure yourself, but
Nah, absolutely. That's one of my favorites too, and Dame was one of my inspirations too. To be a
shout out to Dame, man. It's funny because we be FaceTiming each other, and I just be like, I can't, and it's still like, I'm like, dog.
You can't even believe
I can't,
that.
like, it's like, you know my name, bro. Like, it's like, to him, it's like, but I understand that, because people might see me and you and be like, yo, so it's hard to see yourself like that, but it's also great to know that the work that you put in, somebody said you inspired me, and that inspiration took them to go on this journey, and now their family is eating. Like, that's superhero work, bro.
I mean, I'll tell you something that like really shifted my mind, and it was crazy, because it was, all right, you and I were at the YouTube Avenues event, and at the time when you saw me, you were like, Spitty, come on, it's time, time. And we standing there, Wallow's on stage, and he out the blue, he didn't know me at the time, says, when y'all getting y'all Off The Porch interviews, y'all need to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, man, if that's not the sign. And then when I talked to him, and he told me, little bro, you changing so many lives. And Ray, I'm gonna be real, I hadn't really thought about it like that. It's almost like I'm at the point in time, I'm just thinking like, man, I'm just doing stuff for rappers, for musicians, for artists I like and I rock with, but I didn't take it as deep as understanding, like, bro, you're changing lives.
Bro, but not only that, bro, it's some people that will sit here and be like, I made it. And it's people who will see them and be like, you did that? You built that, bro. You built something that became a measuring board in our culture, where if you do it, damn, I made it. Like, I'm off the porch. You built that. Like, now you're no longer knocking on the door. You are the door. Which to me is like the most powerful thing. So, and the internet is so interesting, because even with Wallow, he shouted me out, and I'm like for me, it's like, I'm really trying to figure it out. Kanye mom has a saying, she said on the documentary, she said, a giant doesn't see a giant when it looks in the mirror. that shit stuck with me because it's like we giants, bro, and sometimes we gotta tell each other that,
right?
Because it's like, because you know, sometimes I'll be ready to quit, sometimes I'll be frustrated, sometimes I'll be like, what am I doing with my life?
Drop a video and it only get a certain amount of views.
Yeah, and then it's like, yo, I'm trying, but you know, that's part of the journey, and the journey is the win.
Absolutely,
the journey is the win. The fact that I'm talking to you, and like it's this meme. It's the guy that played Ant-Man, and he's on a video and he's like opening his drink and he's talking to some other famous actor and he's like, look at us, look at us. Can you believe this is us? And and I'm like, I know what that feel like. Cause I see that with my niggas. Like, look at us. Like, damn, nigga, like we doing it, right?
We done made it.
Yes, like I'm walking through your halls. I'm like,
like remember we was the younger execs in the labels looking at all them
big dogs,
and now we got our own compounds and people come to.
And by the way, they don't. Because a lot of them were suckers.
That's real.
A lot of them didn't want to see us win, and that's why they some suckers. So, you know, that's another thing why I wanted to talk, because I didn't want to be a sucker. I don't want a little, because that little nigga is going to grow up to be a big dog. And he going to remember who treated him, who spoke to him, who said, not, like, that's why when I come in the room, I speak to everybody. Because it's like, you never know, and it's not even that. I just want you to know that I'm not too big in my own head to stop and say hello to an intern.
And how many times have you been in a room where you've met somebody and they're at a high level, but they're like, man, I remember meeting you
all the
when
time.
I was an intern, and bro, you actually sat and talked to me
all
for 10
the time.
minutes.
Bro, it was last year. I went to the Def Jam party, and for the first time I was interested. Like, cause you know people give you props all the time, but like I didn't receive it because it was like. But then people would come to me and say, yo, you did this. And I started asking, like, what you do? And it was like, oh, I run streaming for Empire. I run publicity for Def Jam. I'm like, and you, like, it's like, damn, you got a real job.
Right.
And it's like, damn, because you know, sometimes you don't know if it's affecting the losers or the winners. But when you hear people who are won with it, that's when it really make you feel good. Because it's like, damn, bro, thank you.
For sure.
It's a good feeling.
So, man, back to, you know, when I was talking about, like, you know, you coming from the Bronx, the importance of speaking your lineage and now being in Atlanta, representing Atlanta the way that you do. But I feel like it's just as important, you know, me being from Milwaukee and I represent my Hernando, Mississippi to Memphis lineage, because there's no way for you to understand Spitty if you don't understand that. That's what, you know what I mean? So same for you, because your outlook on music and your view on music is so vast. So, you know what I mean? But in that, what type of guy were you growing up, bro? Like, did you know early that what you're doing now, or somewhat of what you're doing now, was what you wanted to do?
It's so weird. Damn, that's a deep question, because it's so weird, because I always felt special. I always felt different. I always felt like God touched me, but it was like nobody could see it. And it's like, that's why the people in my life, I want to take care of them so good, because y'all bet on me. And all I wanted was somebody to bet on me. Like, just see me, just be like, cause you know, in the hood, you know, if you could play basketball, they see you. If you could rap or sing, they see you. But if you just a regular dude, nobody sees you. It's like, oh, you. So for me, I didn't even. That's why I have so much love for Atlanta, because Atlanta was the first time where it was like I saw Atlanta. And maybe Atlanta didn't see itself, but I saw it, and I was like, oh no, I could really be somebody here. And then, you know, I woke up when I was 18 and I realized that I was a loser. And I just started like looking for stuff, looking for the answers, because I ain't want to be no loser, bro. Like, when you a kid and you see a janitor, you know, you be thinking to yourself, that'll never be me. But I don't think that janitor thought that'd be them. When you see,
they never thought that.
I don't think they thought as a kid, I'm gonna be a janitor. So that always gave me the perspective, like, you can end up there. So I always thought I was different, but I was looking for something to do, and this guy asked me to help him with music, and boom, here I am.
When would you say you jumped off the porch? Like, at what point in your life did you, you know, kind of find your independence and, you know?
My dad dying. You know, I know you lost, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, losing a parent changes perspective, because your world stops. But the world goes on. You know, and it's like, for you, the world just stopped. It's like, what am I supposed to do? And then you see people walking by, and it's like, damn, I gotta keep getting up and keep going. So my father dying was the life-changing moment for me, because we had the same name. And I remember looking at his name and looking at mine. I remember thinking, like, when I die, it's gonna have to matter. And I'm not gonna die broke like he did. And I'm gonna leave some of my kids. And it wasn't even I was angry at my dad. I never felt animosity towards anybody. It was just kind of like, this the hand I was dealt. go fucking get it, bro.
Yeah.
Go get it. Like, go show. And the crazy thing is that everything I am today is honoring my father. Everything I am is because I got his name.
Yeah.
And I remember I remember at his grave when they was put him in the ground. I remember looking at my brother, my sister. Michael was 16. Tiffany was, I think, 20. And I remember thinking, like, I got them. Rest in peace. We broke.
Yeah.
My mom didn't know that she wasn't gonna be working. My mom didn't know that I was gonna retire her. I knew it though. I knew it, and I was just like, that was the moment where it was like. And by the way, the story goes, I was working at Delta. September 11th happened. Delta tells everybody, don't come to work. Basically, like, airline industry is suffering. Take time off. So I took time off to go chase my dream. Then they called me back to work, and I was like, I can't work. My dad just died. I'm taking care of my dad. My dad was alive and healthy. He just had HIV, so he was like, just tell him I got HIV, you taking care of me. Wow. And he died 2 months later. And Delta called me back to work, and then my mother was like, shout out to my mother because I love her to death. My mother was like, man, just go back to Delta. You're gonna make $60K a year in 10 years. You'll be making $25 an hour in 10 years, and you'll be able to retire, and you know, you don't have no talent anyway, Raymond. Like, you can't rap or sing. Like, how are you gonna make it in music? And at that moment, I remember going back to work, because of course that's your mother. You don't wanna let your mother down. And I remember like going back to work, and I swear to God, Spitty, I could see it like it was yesterday. I just finished the 5 o'clock push. The 5 o'clock push usually 5 to 7. So it was like right around 7:15, and the sun was shining, and I was like, damn, Dad, if Bill Cosby was my father, would people be telling me to work at Delta? And then it hit me like the expectations of me is based on who he was. And at that moment, I went to my supervisor's office and I quit. And I made more money this year than I would have made if I stayed at Delta and worked doubles every day to today.
Yeah.
20 years later, 23 years later, I made more money in 2024 than I would have made if I stayed at Delta the whole time. That's not even including the other 19 years I've been in this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, that comes from, it wasn't even belief, it was desperation. When you lose somebody, it's like you don't even have a choice, because you realize they don't have a choice. They die. I can't bring them back, they're dead. So it's like, I was like, man, I'm just honoring my father. And when people see my son now, they're like, oh, he's gonna be a billionaire now. And I'm like, no one said that about me. And they're only saying that about him because of who I am.
Right.
And that's why I'm telling him, you can't be entitled to me. He has my name too.
Yeah.
You gotta run.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't think because my dad is there. No, run, and just know as far as you get, when you say your name is Daniels and people find that you're my son, they're gonna respect you just a little different, because I've done my best to give as many people game, advice, anything as possible. So I'm just really just like repaying that for my father. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Would you be do you see yourself being just as harsh with your son or with your children, like how Shaq is with his kids?
Nah.
Y'all not rich, I'm rich.
Well, so I understand why Shaq does that, but I wish he didn't. But I know why. Shaq grew up in a household where his father wasn't in the house, and he had a stepfather who was his father. And when he speaks about his stepfather, he was a militant man that didn't play. Yeah. I understand that. And by the way, I don't think Shaq is gonna leave his kids hanging.
Absolutely.
You know,
not.
but I do like that. But what I tell my son is I want you to enjoy being my son, but I don't want you to walk in the room acting like you're my son. And he was like, what do you mean? I said, well, people are gonna know you're my son and look at you and try to figure out who you are, but I want you to show them that you're your own man. I want you to show them that, like, yeah, my dad might be whoever he is, but I'm here now. So I empower my kids, all of them. I give them their own voice. I don't shun them. Everything is negotiable. If my son wants to do something, Spitty, he'd be like, Dad, I want to do something. I'm like, no. And he'd be like, okay. And then I'm like, don't just take that. Negotiate.
Right.
Make your case.
Yeah.
Because then that's what life's about. They're going to tell you no, but make your case. And he'll be like, but Dad, I'll do it. So it's all, to me, it's funny because I caught slack on the Shade Room because they posted this clip of Kurt. Okay. And he was talking to the other mother, not Rashida, but the other woman on Love and Hip Hop. And she was like, what's your kid's teacher name? And he didn't know. And I wrote, I don't know my kid's teacher name either. And everybody's like, you are a terrible father. Oh. You are a terrible. And I'm like, y'all don't even know me. I don't know my kid's teacher name because no teacher gave me anything. Right. So why am I going to invest time in their teachers? I'm your teacher. Yeah. You're going to learn what life is from me. Not that teacher, because that teacher might tell you can't, because there were teachers that told us we can't. So why am I gonna put that much effort in a teacher?
Yeah, kept us in a closed-minded kind of state of mind.
Bro, if you look at school, most of who we are today is the interactions we had with our peers. Not what we learned. It's who we were amongst our peers.
That's real.
That's what really changed us.
Real. The cats that was like trying to be bullied.
Yes.
The cats that try to bully in business and might not be able to.
Yes. And then you start realizing that don't work.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's a dope evolution of parenting with your son, because we grew up with, hey, do it because I said it.
Yes.
And it's not like any reasoning.
Nah.
So for you to give your son the opening to, hey, in a respectful way, tell me why you want to do that and break that down.
Yes.
That's such a dope evolution.
Oh no, my kids, I talk to them, I explain to them. My son will tell me, I don't like my teacher, I don't like this. I'm like, son, your life is in front of you. That teacher is gonna be there 10 years from now. By the way, that's what my supervisor told me at Delta. Spitty, when I went to go quit, I was nervous. I kind of didn't want, I was kind of like, I want to quit. But if he would have told me to stay, I probably would have stayed because, but he was like, you got a dream? And I was like, yeah, man. And he was like, how old are you? I said, I'm 22. He said, in 5 years, you'll be 27. And if you quit today and you came back, these same people will be here. And you know what? You might not have as much seniority, but you at least know that you went for it. Today's your last day. I was like, damn, okay. Okay. Right. It's the last day, let's go.
Straight up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you know what though, man? When you see people that don't dream big, that aren't able to, have that thought process, then, I mean, it's like, man, all right, bet. I know I'm
exactly
good, you know what I'm saying, regardless. So, Ray, when did you get your first job in the music industry? Like, how did that come about?
First real job.
Yeah, first real job.
So, I met, Ethiopia hits me. Shout out to Ethiopia.
Okay, shout out
she
Ethiopia.
tells me, we in Philly. Shout out to Mark Byers, who actually manages me as a personality now and like kind of oversees a lot of my stuff. We're in Philly working on Beanie Siegel album with Mark and Dre and Vidal. Ethiopia calls me and says, Sylvia needs help and she wants to meet you now. So I'm like, well, I'm in Philly. And she was like, that's a 2-hour drive.
Can we slow down a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, how did you even get to the point to where like you were in rooms with these people and these types of calls are being made?
So I started managing these two brothers from the Virgin Islands, Timothy and Tehran. I don't know nothing about songwriters. I don't know nothing. All I know is that we broke and we're gonna hustle. How we get our publishing deal? I'll tell you that. So first of all, I started managing these guys. We're doing talent shows, right? This is when a talent show mattered. Mm-hmm. Talent shows is different now, right? This is when you did a talent show and people discovered you and told somebody. So we was doing talent shows. They was winning all the talent shows. So my whole thing was they're gonna be the biggest artists in the world. And then, Tehran was writing songs because he was trying to learn how to be a songwriter, mm-hmm. right? Because the deal that Timothy and Tehran made was Timothy, by the way, this is a good lesson for people out there. They were a team. Timothy worked the job. So Timothy worked at Publix packing bags to pay all the bills, to barely pay all the bills, while Tehran was in the studio learning how to write songs. Tehran wrote like 400 songs in 1 year. He used to live in my studio. If I played you Mario's Music for Love demo, I can't listen to it to this day without getting a little emotional because I can hear the desperation in his voice. I could hear, and by the way, he didn't know he was learning how to record. He didn't know how to fly hooks. So he sung the whole song through. So the hook sounds slightly different. But I remember he wrote the song Music for Love. And like right around this time, we were still doing talent shows. And then it felt like, it didn't all click, but it felt like the work was starting to pay off. So now people were hitting us about writing songs. Keith Thomas hit us. Shout out to Keith Thomas, Usher's best friend. He also is A&R. Keith hit us saying, yo, we got this group One Chance Usher just signed. I think y'all are right for him. Now, mind you, everybody else in the room is trying to get on Usher album. We was like, nah. We're gonna work on One Chance, because if we do, this is my strategy. If we give them a record that Usher loves, he's gonna say who wrote it. That happens. Usher says who wrote it. He wants to cut it now. Right. Now Usher and Mark Pitts is in the room. So now I'm still thinking all artists. So now people start saying like, yo, you guys got a publishing deal? Spitty, I don't know what it is. I'm like, what's that? It's like a publishing deal. So I'm like, all right, cool, let's do a publishing deal. So then I was like, you a hood nigga, you don't know nothing. Like, yo, how much you think we could get? my boy Tremaine Ankrum, shout out to Tremaine, he said, man, y'all get like 300 to 400. First thing went to my head was like 60,000, 80 to 80,000 in my pocket. Like, I'm like, what? So we do the artist deal with Akon. The deal was small. I think our advance was like 50K. We thought we was up though, we was up. So now Akon is like, I'm gonna do your publishing deal. So I'm like, all right, cool. But Con, I gotta talk to other people. I heard that I gotta do that the same way I talked to other people before we signed with you.
Right.
So Akon was like, all right, cool, talk to other people. So I'm like, so Smitty, we shopping, bro. We was meeting with all these publishing companies, but what was happening was, which is kind of crazy because 20 years later it makes sense. What was happening was that our lawyer was saying, I've been in 100 meetings like this. I've never seen this combination of management and artists that everybody loves talking to. Because we would go in rooms and it would be like, look at me now. Like, I've always been a talker.
And I mean, the dynamic
Yes.
of you and Teron
Yes.
and Timo, I mean,
Yes.
just the energy, you know what I mean?
And by the way, we were still humble,
Yeah.
so happy to be there. And it was like, the meeting went good. I'll go to Donald, that was our lawyer, Donald Woodard. I'll go to Donald and be like, you think we can get like 400? He said, bro, I think we can get almost half. I was like, get out of here. He was like, that's how good these meetings are going.
Yeah.
So
then
then
personality can take you a long
Yes.
way along with
That's
the
what,
talent.
I wish people, that's what I'm trying to get people to understand.
Yeah.
It's not just about the talent and the plan. It's, can I like you?
Yeah.
It's, do I see value in do I think you're, like, I knew you was gonna be here.
Yeah.
And you probably knew I was gonna be here.
Absolutely.
But we didn't know it ourselves.
Right,
We were scared to death. Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you need
but
those.
we see each other and it's like, bruh,
This ain't shocking me.
Yeah.
It's what you supposed to do.
Right.
And for me, it's like, I don't know. And you're like, nah, you was supposed to. But that's what I'm trying to get people to see.
Yeah.
So we in this meeting. Here's how the story goes. So now we do our first round of meetings. Everybody's in. Everybody wants to make an offer. So now we in this last meeting with the people that we wanted to sign to. So we narrowed it down to two people, Hitco and Universal. Ethiopia. We loved Ethiopia. And you know, Donald, we at the not the Four Seasons, we at the Westin at the hotel that rotates above the city. We had dinner and we kind of like, Donald told them $500,000. They was like, yes. So I'm like, we up. So we in the meeting. So it's going so good that Ethiopia texts Donald. Donald responds to Ethiopia saying, 1.5 million would take this off the table. Swear to God. I don't know this, by the way. I go downstairs. So I'm like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, man, that Hitco meeting was dope. I think we're gonna go with them. He said, yeah. I said, but what about Universal? They came in with an offer. He said, not yet, but I just told him 1.5 to take it off the table. I said, why the fuck would you do that? What are you doing? He was like, Ray, I'm not lying to you. I've never seen meetings like this, where they love y'all. They don't just like y'all. It's the personalities are high level. The music is high level. The conversations are high level. Just trust me. Cool. She didn't hit back that night. He called me first thing the next morning. She said she's in. 1.5 million. Changed our lives.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But it came from just trying.
Yeah.
So what I be trying to tell people is stop focusing on the goal. We were so in the journey, we were just enjoying the conversation, and it came.
And the sacrifices being made, you know what I'm saying? Like being selfless, you know?
Serving.
Yes.
It's power in service. And I just wish that we all seen that. But so now we do this 1.5 deal, so now pressure's on. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I thought that was gonna be the last check I ever saw in my life. I didn't even, you gotta look at,
because you can't even
I didn't even think I was gonna get
kind of money.
That.
Right.
I was praying for 1/3 of that,
Right.
let alone getting the whole thing. So it didn't even register. So I was like, this is the last time. So we got the money and we literally said, yo, this is the last time we ever gonna get money like this. And we worked like it was never money coming in again.
Yeah, for sure.
And then it just kept us hot. It kept us up. So we started building the name. You know, of course the industry is talking. Ethiopia gave Rock City 1.5. So, you know, I'm walking around my chest out like, you damn right. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't me, it was Donald. But so now, you know, we got records coming out. We in the studio every time, and it's weird because you're kind of seeing the artist playing kind of stay stagnant, but the writer playing taking off. But that's because we didn't have control over the artist stuff. We were signed to Akon. Akon company was ran by Divine. Right. Divine and Akon, I've never seen Divine, Akon, and Jimmy Iovine in the same room ever. And we were signing Interscope through them for 5 years.
And this was during the time when we met, because I ended up working over at Geffen, and I was doing the marketing for all the all the Con Live stuff.
Exactly.
Red Lavender, Girl Got a Girlfriend, and Brick and Lace when they had signed them back then. So I remember.
So for me it was like we was with Akon, so the songwriting thing is taking off, and you know, like I said, the one thing that I will tell you that I was very resourceful. I think that that's the best way to describe a young 25, 26-year-old me. Yeah. I was very resourceful. And what I mean by that is like, so you gotta look at it like this, like they, in this business, they test. So let's say, so Spitty is my brother, right? He ain't just marketing agency, he ain't just DGB, it's my brother. So I might feel comfortable selling a new artist to talk to you on some, yo, Spitty, can you talk my new artist? Yeah. But that's because I'm really, you know what that is. I'm waiting for you to tell me he ready. Yep. She ready. Yep. They ain't ready. Or ready. They gotta, you know, because it's like, that's how we do it. So what happened was that Ethiopia would set up meetings for us. And every meeting, it was like, I was like the, what's the word? Like, it was like, I was the what's the guy at the circus that introduces everybody?
Not the ringleader, the maestro.
The ringleader. Yeah, okay. So I was kind of like the ringleader, coming in the room saying, "Get ready for the greatest show in the world, Timothy and Tehran." Like this is this. So everybody liked me. It was like, "Oh, this guy's funny." And then they would come in and play the records and dance and this. So it was like Ethiopia was like, "Yo, every meeting I send y'all into, people love y'all." Clive Davis wants to meet y'all. This one it kind of changes. So, you know, of course, the way I used to be able to do it, I could see him, I could tell, I know a lot about him just by looking at him with his clothes, what he got on. I could read people, that was my gift. So I could kind of get in the room with Spitty, ask him some questions like, yo, what you looking for? You might say rap. I already know a folder.
Gotcha, yeah.
We about to meet with Clive. Here's the rules though. When you meet with Clive Davis, you have to send him the songs ahead of time, and you have to bring the lyrics. So, and you can't send 8 songs. You can only send 3 to 5 max. Wow. You meet with Clive Davis, so you know he needs records for Mario, Whitney Houston, Jamie Foxx. You know, this is J Records, right? So I meet with him, so I'm like 5 songs. I remember the songs. One was Music for Love Mario that I sold. One was Mrs. Glass that wound up going on Leona Lewis. And the other one was Mario Skipping. So 3 out of 5 songs got played. So that's incredible. I got a 60% batting rating. So now, you know, Ethiopia is like, shit, Ray, I'm gonna start sending y'all to meet everybody. So now I'm in New York, you know, Clive Davis just took 3 out of 5. You know, people start talking in this game. I miss those days because it was always, the chatter was what got you in the room. Sure. So now Ethiopia's like, Sylvia wants to meet with you. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I'm in Philly though. She was like, get to New York. And I think I took a bus or shuttle. I'm not talking about like, give me 2 days. I'm talking about like 8 in the morning. She wants you to be in the office by 12 p.m. Yeah. So I go meet Sylvia, play her some records. Once again, I play her like 8 records. She loved like 5. She like, oh, I love you. Yeah. And then I was like, for real? Like I couldn't believe I was meeting Sylvia. I still can't believe that me and Sylvia are this close. And then I leave. Call Ethiopia, like, yo, the meet went good, I think. And she was like, all right, Ray, cool. The Ethiopia called me, was like, Sylvia, what's your phone number? I was like, no problem. Then I get a text from Sylvia, you want to work for me? What? Yeah. That's how I got my first A&R gig.
So I was going to ask you, like, at what point did people respect you as an A&R and not only view you as, you know, the manager?
It wasn't until I didn't respect myself as an A&R until I started working for LA Reid at Epic. Okay. That was like the greatest time of my life, of my career, should I say, because I'm in a really good time right now, but that was the greatest time in my career because I was learning so much. Like everything I am today is what, as an executive, is what I learned from them 2.5 years at Epic. Yeah. Everything I am, because it was like real time. And LA, like these news, they don't give you access. LA would be in the room with Mariah Carey, and you know, you kind of walk by his office, and you know, his assistant is like, he's in with Mariah, and LA will see me and be like, he in with Mary J. Blige. Mary, this Ray, you gotta know, like, it was like, I saw it from the other side, because he was the king that they was kissing his ring. So I saw it from the other side, and it was like, damn, like I could do this, right? And then, you know, a lot of it, he didn't have to know it all, he just knew, he knew how to seduce the artist. He knew how to make the artist feel like when they left LA Reid office, they felt like they could fly. Yeah. if they thought they could fly when they left his office, they thought we going to Mars. You know what I'm saying? He made you see more. So when I saw that, I just was like, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that.
Is the A&R position still relevant today in the music industry?
I think it is. I'm gonna say yes and I'm gonna say no. Yes, because the term A&R still matters to artists, right? But no, because they can't sign who they want to sign. They can't pick who they want to pick. They can't. They gotta, like, I remember at Epic, it was like, I like this. Let's sign it. I believe in that. Let's sign it. You know, the rest of the jobs, it was like, here's the data, go get it. I just felt like an errand boy. It didn't feel like, it meant something to say you was an A&R, SVP. Right. And then it just started feeling like I'm an errand boy. Like I'm just, like my opinion don't even matter. It's just more or less like who I know. Like, oh, this kid is popping. He was on DGB platform. He got crazy. Everybody talk about him. Spitty that owned DGB, that's my brother. Oh, Reid, that was what I was doing. It was like, it's so much more to me than that. Right, and it was like they didn't care about that. So I feel bad for A&Rs now because they're stuck.
Yeah, because the music industry became so DIY that, I mean, even from the digital marketing side, you know, like everybody can do their own Facebook ads and YouTube ads, or, you know, like you said, these artists come in, they get signed, and it's like, oh man, he was on this platform, so they're like, man, apparently my sound and what I did got me there, so I don't need to listen to somebody to give me direction.
And then the other difficult part is that you're giving these artists these crazy deals, and it's all about the deal now. It's not about the plan. It was like when we signed En Choppa, it wasn't about, it was like he was the hottest shit on earth at the time and everybody wanted it, and it was like, get the deal, and we did, you know what I'm saying? But it didn't feel as accomplished because he was already established. It was kind of like going into a auction. Like, I just was the highest bidder. Like, I don't get me wrong, I think that I had a good connection with Choppa, and at the time I had a really good relationship with his management, but I didn't feel like I did something. I remember Aaron called me like, yo, thank you, man. We at this golf event, and everybody just talking about how we won the Choppa sweepstakes. And I'm like, yeah, but we got to do work to blow them up, though.
Right.
It was weird how I was like, that wasn't even our thought process. It was just, we got him.
Yeah.
It's like, we signed a free agent. Okay, who's going to coach him? Who's going to, like, it's like, oh, I don't know about that, but we got Jordan.
Right.
So to me, and I'm obsessed with winning, so I always study winners, so that was just always kind of weird for me. So, you know, and then you realize, man, when you leave, man, you ain't really got nothing. Like, think about this. Somebody paying you $500,000 a year, and I know to a lot of people that feels like a lot of money. By the way, it is. Yeah, for sure. But you make it $500,000 a year, but you're cutting checks on behalf of a company for millions.
Right.
3 million here, and then you're watching them almost like they get to go home and play. You got to stay now.
Oh yeah.
Because I got to talk to marketing, digital, all these people about this artist that I signed, and it's like, bro, like, and then you realize they having all the fun out there. And then what happens is you make that much money, now your lifestyle goes up. Because if you make $500,000 a year, why wouldn't you go buy a new car? Why wouldn't you go buy a better car? Why wouldn't you get a better house? Why wouldn't you put yourself in a better position? That's what getting a great job is for. Now here's the mind fuck. Now you have a lifestyle established. So now you don't even realize you're a slave to the job. Because you establish a lifestyle, and then you also realize that you're never gonna be able to have $500,000 in cash in case you lose the job, because now you know what I'm saying? So now it becomes this thing where now once the job leaves, it's like, no corporate card, none of that. You know how I go.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I got so much respect for you, because you got to be able to stomach this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, dog, today is the 29th. 2 days from now, guess what I got to do? Payroll, rent. Yep. That's why I paid off all my houses, because I'm like, I can't have, like, my overhead is $50,000 a month. Imagine like when my mortgages would have been 70. Right. So I'm like, let me get the house, let me get that off. But you got to stomach that. And you also don't get in that situation. You sign a great artist, the best thing you're gonna get is a bonus and a pay raise.
Right.
And more responsibilities.
Yeah, and they work you so hard.
Tell them, Spitty.
You to thinking
tell them, Spitty.
Like the work that you're doing, that is working towards something. But again, when you say like when you get that same paycheck and there's no way that you're gonna get an increase. Look, I remember doing the live stream for Kanye, My Dark Twisted Fantasy.
I remember.
The first time Kanye broke the internet and we showed the album cover on there. Then after that, I set up the deal between Universal Music Group and the company Ustream to do this big live stream partnership. Now, since I was, getting paid, you know what I mean, a couple $100,000 a year, and was,
it felt good.
Had some good benefits. I didn't get no piece of that deal, but that was a multi-million-dollar deal.
But it wasn't yours.
Right.
And so like even now, like when I go to, like I was watching like the Lakers play, and I heard a Remble song play, and I'm like, I'm still making the money. And I see Choppa going crazy, I'm like, I'm still making the money. I don't get residuals after I'm done. I don't get no, you know what's kept me alive? The work that I did for me.
Yeah, that's right.
Rock City, Sam Sumser, Sean Small, Digital Nas, the people that I've invested my energy in, Ivory Scott, A1. These are people that are signed to me, that I built, that I'm like, or I managed, that I built, and I'm like,
what's the producer?
That still paid me. 1111, like, those things still take care of me to this day. I just got a royalty check today. From like, it's like, bro, like, I get nothing from my last situation. So then you start realizing like, that was really experience.
Yeah, for
sure. If you go into a job to be a career, I would probably tell you change your approach, because there are no 20-year careers in the music business, especially for our culture.
Yeah, for sure. Nah.
Especially for our color.
Man, you be lucky if you had 2 years at a spot.
How many niggas ain't got contracts?
Man, come on.
And then not only that, you really don't realize that your dog, Def Jam, Jive Records, RCA Records, all these companies are still making money from the execs in the 90s.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, for
in
sure.
the 2000s. The niggas that dead and gone ain't come around. They still making money from that.
Yeah.
When you go look at Warren G, when you realize that if an artist has 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify, like I remember when at the peak when Def Jam signed Money Long, I remember she had like 5 or 6 million monthly listeners. I remember thinking like, damn, that's amazing. And then I remember going to Warren G page, and he had 5, 6 million monthly listeners. They making the same money for these people.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah,
They making the same money. This is stuff from the 90s. It's the same, because a stream is a stream.
Yeah, right.
It ain't like it used to be where it's a stream is a stream. So you start realizing it's not yours. And by the way, it's not even the CEOs. They get rid of him too.
Yeah,
he just get a way bigger buyout.
Right.
That's the only difference, but they can get rid of anybody. Yeah. So I tell anybody, bro, they can't take away something that you built. And I know it's hard. And by the way, if you're not a builder, if you don't have vision, then get with somebody who has vision and help build them and be their partner. Like, everybody can't be Michael Jordan, everybody can't be LeBron James, but you got motherfuckers that had great careers that done. Look at Rich Paul. Now, 20 years from now, he gonna be more powerful than LeBron.
Come on.
In the NBA especially.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you can't be that, but you gotta figure out, you gotta understand that. And by the way, go to do the job for a couple years and just prove to yourself you can do it. Learn it. It's value. Learn the experience. Like me watching you build Wiz, like I seen a kid go from wearing a Pittsburgh Pirates hat to selling out arenas, and I seen it. So it's possible. It's just you.
I mean, we was in meetings talking about, hey man, you should make a song about like all your tattoos and all that, because of that, because that's the culture. And he made Ink My Own Body. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Yeah. So it's ill, man. So, but speaking to like the building the businesses and all of that, man, you made a statement recently where you were saying, like, if you've never built a business, then don't speak on it. And you were more talking to rappers who are complaining about the situations they're in, speaking on business when they don't even know when they don't even when they're saying like, this guy fucked me. You're only saying that because you can talk. That's why you're saying it. You don't even know how or why. My favorite thing to see, shout out to Lil Yachty. My favorite thing to see is rappers go through the same thing that CEOs go through. So when Yachty going through all this stuff, it's like, and by the way, all Yachty is getting ate out because he said his man, but y'all not understanding, he is the one.
And he really sees it from the inside, and now he's on the outside, and he's seeing how ungrateful y'all are. Now, let me tell you something, dog. Me lending my likeliness to you can change your life. You should never disrespect that.
That's real. Yeah.
Dog, and it's funny when I see like the stuff he going through, and he's like, I did this, I did this, I did this. And it's like, Yachty, they don't care.
They don't care.
That's what makes you a star, because you cared and you appreciated it.
Yeah.
They don't, and they don't appreciate it. That's why they won't be you.
Yeah.
Just don't get mad at it, but just understand that they don't care.
Yeah.
This is a what have you done for me lately world we live in. And they will never appreciate it. And whoever does, keep them around.
Absolutely.
Because that podcast, your man wouldn't be making money if you didn't sit on that couch. By the way, I got friends that, you know this, I got friends that's in the business. I know you do too. That's like, yo, you want to jump on my thing? And they like, nah, not yet.
Come on, man.
And this my niggas.
That's the story of my life.
Come on, bro. So now you got to go build it. Dog, the first 20 episodes of the GAUDS Show was me by myself.
Yes.
Because I didn't want to ask nobody to do it.
Right.
I asked a friend of mine, a brother of mine, who's been on this show, who's told the world how I'm his brother. When I first started, I want to do this podcast called Convos with Goats, bro.
Yeah.
I want you to put on my interview. He was like, not now. It ain't time.
Like, come on.
Damn, bro. But guess what? I built my shit, and now they do it.
Yeah.
And that's what I want people to understand. Don't take it personal.
Right.
Sometimes it's like God. It's like praying for God. Praying to God works, but it doesn't work without effort.
That's true. Yeah.
So asking your friends to show up for you they want to see you show up for yourself first.
For sure. And being a visionary is probably the loneliest place in the world.
Yes. Because you see things that other people don't see.
Absolutely. Yep. And so for the longest, you will see things that other people don't see. You'll have this excitement and they won't understand that until it happens. And then now everybody's cheering and knew that it was, going to be something. What makes Ray Daniels the culture referee?
I'm fair and I'm unafraid. I think that's what being a ref is about. When you're on a court, it's like I'm gonna call a play. I don't care if it's the home team against the home team and the crowd is gonna boo me. 60,000 people gonna boo me and say I don't care about that. My job is to be fair and speak up what I see wrong. So I've always been a guy that wasn't afraid, and I think I've always had a gift of criticizing with a smile on my face without making people take it personal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a gift to that. Like, to really say, I don't like that, but here's what I do like. So for me, I was, what's so crazy? Shout out to Kasim Reid, the former mayor of Atlanta. He gave me the name because I was at the table arguing with Shaka. Shout out to Shaka. Oh, we had a table at the gathering spot. We arguing over who's the most powerful black man in America, Barack Obama or Jay-Z. And I'm like, it's Hov. And Kasim was like, you brother, you must not understand the world we live in, brother. It is by far Obama. And I'm like, no, it's not. So he was like, you just unafraid to talk. Like, and by the way, I'm arguing with someone who wrote Obama the first check that he got for his election, and I'm telling him, Hov's still more powerful. Yeah. That's me, bro. So he was like, you're like the culture referee, you're unafraid to speak. So I just took the moniker and I was like, you know what? I'll speak on things, and if you take it personal, then you ain't a real player.
Yeah.
Because if I call foul on you, you gotta admit you might not like I call foul, but if I call foul on him when he do it to you, you're gonna call me a sucker anyway. Yeah. So I'm just gonna call it how I see it, and I'm gonna be as fair as I can. And if you don't like it, then fuck you.
How did you decide to make the transition from being a label exec and being in that realm to, more pushing your own brand?
Well, Spitty, that's a really funny story. I didn't make the decision. It was made for me.
I think a lot of us in these positions, that is our story.
Because you know what it is? It was a couple of steps, but I'm gonna give you the shortest version. First of all, shout out to Zach Katz, one of my mentors. Love that brother. I was telling him about a TED Talk I was doing, and the name of my TED Talk was Raising the Bar, but it's R-A-Y, so that was my TED Talk. So he was like, it was so crazy, Spitty, because he called me out. We had breakfast, and he calls me out, and he's like, you're full of shit. I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, why are you talking about renewing a deal with a company and you're telling everybody else to raise the bar? You know it's more out there for you, but you're scared to go for it. By the way, that stuck with me. I still was like, fuck what he talking about. I'm gonna go sign my. I'm gonna go get my new deal. Fuck what he talking about. Fuck you, bro. I got a family to feed. Yeah. And God heard it, and God. So anyway, that happens, and then my situation, I got fucked over, right? Because I wrote this letter called "Dear White Music Execs."
I remember.
And you know, the people at the top of my company made it seem like they were proud of me. They loved that I spoke up. But I found out later on that they was pissed at me and they were gonna get me back. And you've been in the music business long enough. When your contract is, if you're in a 3-year contract, 6 months out, they usually tell you if they're renewing or you can go find somewhere else. Well, for 10 months, they told me, I'm there, told my lawyer, don't shop him, don't do nothing, that's the only guy we want, he's the best guy over here. And then, this is how I know it was something personal, because they told me they was gonna give me this big raise, there's all this stuff, how they gonna take care of me, and then 8 months in, so 10 months out before my contract is up, they tell me that. Now 2 months out, they call my lawyer and say, we're not renewing his contract. We're gonna give him a consultant deal and a label deal. But here's the terms. They told my lawyer, if Ray says something out loud about this, he gets nothing. So I'm like, what the fuck happened? What's that about? So I called a meeting with them, trying to ask, you know, of course they like, they were just spewing anger at me, like, cause I was like, yo, look, if I'm gonna do this deal, I need it to be funded, you know, and y'all know how these label deals don't work if they're not properly funded. That's like a secret in the music business. They'll tell you they'll give you a label deal, but they know if it's gonna work or not, because if it's not funded, because you basically gave them one hand, so you got one arm. So if you ain't giving me enough money in this arm to go grow more arms, I'ma lose. So anyway, they was like, all right, Ray, we're gonna give you this label deal and this consultant deal. Cool, that's November. December go by, January come, they called me 3 days before my contract up and said, you ain't getting nothing. I ain't gonna lie, bro, I cried every day. I only cried because I couldn't believe I let myself trust somebody that I thought was a friend.
Right.
And you know, that shit was a wake up call. You know, God puts, I want people to hear this, like, we ain't perfect. Everything don't go our way, but we pay attention to the signs and we're honest with ourselves. So when that happened, I was like, well, maybe this was it was, but it's like at that moment they put me on my back heels, because now everybody's inquired about me, my lawyer, and I have said I'm not leaving this company. So now 3 days out, I gotta call people now and say, hey, I'm not with them no more. First thing they're gonna say is, what happened?
Yeah.
I don't know. That means you did something wrong.
Exactly.
Boom.
Yeah.
So I knew that. So I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna ask somebody for a job because I'm too good at it. Because to be honest with you, I was the best guy over there, and let's be clear, the numbers show. Let's be clear. So for me, I was like, I ain't gonna beg for tips. Put a camera on me. Somebody asked me a question. I swear to God, bro, I only did that because I was like, this will help me get another job.
Yeah.
Because you know, we're in Atlanta, you could be forgot about in Atlanta. You know how I go. Like, if you ain't in LA, if you in LA and New York, you could fall into a job.
Yeah.
If we was in LA and New York, we would be making way more money, but we would not own shit.
Right, for sure.
We wouldn't own shit.
We wouldn't own our houses.
We would own our houses, we would be renting apartments and everything. So they, you know, they did that. So I was like, man, I'm gonna go back to Atlanta. I cashed in my 401k, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just bet on myself. And I'm so glad I did it. And it's not that it's been easy. Right. It's not that it's been fun. It's not that because of where I'm at. It's just because that forced me to do something for myself.
For sure.
And this is yours. Yeah. When I help market your shit, you pay me a good salary, but that's yours. Yeah. This is the first time I have built something for me that that's mine. And it's nothing more rewarding that to me as a man, because it's like, that's all you want is to build something that's your own, right? Absolutely. And to me, that's where I'm at with it. So I'm just, you know, but yeah, they did me dirty, man. And, you know, shout out to them, man. And, you know, that letter still rings bells when I bring it up, because it was speaking about the black experience. I suggest anybody go read it. And at the end of the letter, I say, if what I'm saying offends you, I ask you to check your privilege and read it again. Because my intent is never to offend nobody, but it is to put awareness on the black experience, since you asked, because they asked.
Yeah. Would you say that was like your first time almost like openly speaking like to the entire music industry, and sort of like to what you're doing now? Was that
was the start of it? That was the start.
Of that?
First of all, if anybody knows me, I am not an activist. I'm a capitalist. I want to get this money. That letter was the first time that I think white music industry people saw me as black. Cause it was like, you know how this shit is. Like some people, they know you black, but you're not like them. You're not that black, you know?
Yeah.
That was the first time I felt like people saw me as black. And it was a wake up call to me. Cause for me, it's like, I've always been black, bro. Like I talk like a black man. I act like a black man. I'm true to my experience, but I didn't realize that I was their friend because I didn't make them feel bad about their privileges versus mine. But I couldn't at the time. And by the way, I still don't. That's why I stay in Atlanta, because ain't nobody privileged more in Atlanta than black people.
Come on.
I ain't going nowhere. I'm not going.
I'm telling you. Yo, I never understood it until I moved down here, and then I was like, yo, I ain't going nowhere.
By the way, if y'all watching this, I want y'all to understand, this is huge. He got studios, it's huge in here, and my man own it. That's the difference.
Yeah, nah, real spill.
Nobody in Atlanta, nobody black in LA owns anything close to this without a person that's not them, that don't look like them putting the money in it, because it's just too expensive. So I always say Atlanta's the place if you want to build. LA is the place if you want to live.
Right.
But if you want to build,
you come right
Atlanta.
Right down here.
Yep.
So man, the GAUDS Show is going on 2 years. Just had the 2-year birthday.
Yep.
And I mean, I remember when you started it, man. I think, man, you were in a room with like just the logo on the screen.
No, it was a green screen.
Green screen. Yep, that's right. That's right. Sitting in front of the green screen. But doing what you do and doing what I've always known you for being a great conversationalist.
Yes.
You know, someone who is able to critique things without putting personal, you know, because when you were talking about it earlier, saying like, I'm somebody who can critique something but not dig, you know, it's difficult for people to say, they'll say, I don't like this, and then it's all the reasons why they specifically don't like something, but won't say, you know, like give like more of a theory type of reason.
It's because music is subjective.
Yes.
There's music that we think is dope that our parents will say is terrible. Right. But then there's music that we think is terrible that our kids might say is fire.
Yeah.
It's subjective. So I don't try to give people my opinion. I just learned the science of making hits, and I apply that to my thought process. Now, it always works for me. Like I feel like I'm an artist whisperer. Like, that's another thing. Any artist that gets in the room with me, fuck with me. Because I'm going to tell you the truth, and I don't want nothing in return. Yeah. I'm not like a guy that said, tell the world I did it. Because I'm really confident in myself. Yeah. Like I'm that nigga whether I help you or not. Sure. I'm just helping you because that's what God put in my heart to do. Yeah. So yeah.
Word. And I've heard you say that you feel like, you know, success is like a combination of science, you know, sort of mixed with luck.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Well, it's science and magic.
Magic, that's what
I always tell people. So here's what I say. So we pay to see magicians. We don't pay to see scientists.
That's real.
You know why we don't pay to see scientists? Because they're giving us the answer to how they do it.
Right.
You put this Mentos in this Coke, and because of the way it's made up, it's gonna do that. So now it becomes, I could do that. Yeah. Magic, we don't know how they do it. That's why we watch it. So what I mean by that is like I'll give you an example. I think Future's first half of his career, he was Magic. He had a song called Magic. Yeah. Wild Out, Magic. Like he didn't really know what he was doing, in my opinion. He just knew he was dope.
Yeah. He just had it.
He just had it.
Yeah.
Now he understands what it is. That's science.
That's the science. Yeah.
Drake has been science from day one.
Right.
Kendrick is science from day one. They know who their audience is. Most artists are just trying to figure out who's the audience, who the people that are gonna clap for me. Look, I just did a trick. Who's clapping? Okay, nobody clapping. Let me try another trick. That's what most people are doing. So I always tell people, learn the science of what you do. Like, it's like watching NBA. Like, I feel like we know a little bit about it, like a football. Like, he fast, man, he was smoking them. But when you hear people that understand it, like his body was too low. Yeah. He was too low. He didn't move his hands. That's the science of football. Right. We love the entertainment of it. Right. I don't love the entertainment of music. I love the science of music because that feeds me. Yeah. So when I'm in the room with people, I always want to teach them the science of hit records because there is a science to how to win.
Yeah, nah, for sure, for sure. Well, it's been one of the most fulfilling parts of doing the GAUDS Show, and you know, being able to express your opinion and people able to relate to them, debate them, maybe hate the opinions, and then also, you know, you're able to speak to like so many dope personalities regularly too.
I am proud to say, on today's date, I am a free nigga. How many niggas you know that are really free? What I mean by free is that no one owns me. No one owns me. The only people that can say they own me is Tehran, and we built each other. So that's cool with me. And that's my brother. No one owns me, bro. I thought I was free.
Yeah.
I never was free.
Yeah.
I am a free black man. And that's because I created something of my own that even if it's not making me the money it's gonna make me right now, you don't wanna fuck with me no more. Cause you know, nigga, cause I feel like right now, if I started telling the truth, if I really did the radar report and start telling the truth about these labels and the ins and outs and said, like for example, I'll give you one for example. If you're a black R&B singer, go to RCA Records. Go to RCA Records. That's the #1 record for black R&B singers.
Yeah.
Think about it. Her, Summer Walker, no, not Summer Walker, she's on Interscope. Her, SZA, Khalid. Think about the variety. They had Usher, Chris Brown.
Right.
Like, they're the place. Shout out to Baby Sam. Shout out to Mark Pitts and Peter Edge. They're the perfect people for that vibe, right? I could tell you the labels that's not too.
Right.
I could tell you the labels that have no fucking clue. So if I really start talking my shit about who's good and who's not, I think I can start swaying talent to sign with people and not with people.
Yeah.
So I think people just should leave me the fuck alone before I do that. Like, just leave me the fuck alone, because I know, like for example, if you sign a Def Jam, you with Tunji. Tunji and Archie.
Right.
We came up, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I've been known to say it was interns.
Absolutely.
Archie is one of the most brilliant black men. Tunji is one of the most brilliant, caring, nicest black men. Absolutely. So if you're with them, that's a safe space. Yep. Some people gonna act like they like you. Some people gonna act like they with you. Right. But I'm gonna tell you for a fact, when you leave that room, they are not fucking with you. They just need you for their market share. Right. And if they did that, Spitty, I wouldn't even talk that much. Yeah. If they just told you, yo, bro, look, this could be a good business relationship. It's gonna help me. It's gonna help you. But they don't do that. I love the music. I love what you're doing. They don't love the music. Ask them to recite a lyric.
Yeah, nah, they ain't doing that.
Ask them their favorite song and recite 3 bars from the verse and see if I don't know that, because they don't know your shit, bro.
Right.
They just want to sign you.
Yeah.
Mark Pitts is a purist.
Yeah.
He's a nigga like Derek Arrow is a purist. I know the good A&Rs. I know the bad ones too.
Yeah.
I know the fucking liars. I know the motherfuckers that sit in the room and wink their eye at you while I know all of them. Don't let me start speaking, because I know them.
And I think, and that's the thing too, man. And like with me even seeing, you know, your name buzzing around in the press nowadays with different things, or for different topics, you know, the thing is that like a lot of these people don't know who you are.
That's my point.
And don't understand how deep you are.
That's
in
my
music,
point.
How you could spit a Play a Fly verse,
Yep.
and then how you could come right back and sing a Fantasia
Yep,
verse or something.
And then I worked with Zara Larson, who's a pop artist, and I've been in the room with Luke and all these people. Yeah. So I'm one of the most versatile.
I've seen you work with Spanish speaking people and you don't speak Spanish, but
got them signed, got them checks, got them deals and everything.
Bruh.
Because I understand the science of music. And if you understand that, it'll feed you. These other guys don't understand the science of music.
Because there's a universal language of real niggas.
Come on, bro. It is. And real recognize real. Like Jay-Z said, real recognize real, and you looking familiar. Absolutely. So I know what it is. But yeah, bro. So I'm at this point now where I'm just enjoying myself, and I'm just like, man, just let me lie over here and just do what I'm doing, man. Yeah. Just let me lay over here and say what I'm saying, bro. Don't fuck with me, because I can air y'all the fuck out. Because I know who's good, I know who's not. And I can break down what they good at, and I can break down what they not. I'm a fucking scout, nigga. I can tell you everything about everything. If you go to Republic Records, I can tell you what to look for, who's over there, whether it's Daniel or Ryan Press, Damian Press, or Duro, or I can tell you, I know the moves. Yeah. I know how they think. They didn't think I was black for the first 18 years of me being in this shit. They used to say everything in front of me. I know who they are. Yeah. And I stuck with it, but then, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. That's what's up, man. And I saw you just announced that you got a new show coming out. That's Debatable.
You're invited, by the way.
I gotta be on that.
Bro, it is my dream. So I did this. I asked myself this years ago, maybe 5 years ago, and I'm gonna ask you this: if you could have any job in America, what job would you want? From the president to the janitor, I don't care. To TV star, what would you want to be? NBA player, what would you want to be?
Ja'Cory Spitty Robinson.
But what would the job be? What would the job be?
What would the job be? See, that's tough, because I almost wouldn't want to necessarily just have a locked in position.
No. But here's the thing, dog. You could be the CEO of NBC Universal. I don't know about how locked in a position that you are the position.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? What job would it be? Like, so I'll give you my answer.
Okay,
when I asked myself that, I said it would be the host of the Tonight Show.
Huh.
I think that's the coolest job in America.
Okay.
Right? Because when you win your NBA championship, you want to go to the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
Or Jimmy Kimmel Live. When you win, if your album came out and you celebrating, you performing, you want to perform on my show. So, and it's when America shuts down and wants to just feel good.
Huh.
It's like, okay, the news is over with, 11 o'clock news is over with. Now let's laugh ourselves to sleep.
Yeah.
Let's look at the winners in life. So for me, that was my dream.
Gotcha.
That would be it would be like, yes. But then I was like, damn, I'm kind of doing that now.
Yeah.
Like I'm hosting my own show. Now don't get me wrong, it's not the money. So God gives us what we want. That's why I was asking you that, because it's really something to think about.
My dream has always been, I guess, to have my own platform. Originally, I thought it was going to be more music based.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, even what I'm doing now is music, but I thought it would be more music exec, more music. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I didn't know that media, and I didn't even know that I was going to be myself jumping back into journalism as deep as I have, because that's where I started my career.
Yeah,
you know
I remember.
What I'm saying?
Yep.
So, but I would say like the thing I've always had, did want to have is a network, like basically where.
Look where we are. Look at this. I'm on your network. I see a set right there. I'm on one of your sets. You're running the network, bro.
That was the dream when I got this spot. That was literally the dream.
That's what you're doing.
I looked up to Issa Rae and I looked up to Tyler Perry, and I said, man, and living in LA and being around all the big studios, saying, if I move to Atlanta, okay, Tyler Perry is doing his thing. You got TNT here, but there has to be somebody that can serve that middle ground.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And looking at that, and So yeah.
So, but my point I'm saying that is to say that I always wanted, but I'm like, Ray, if you did it, how would it feel? When I started the GAUDS Show, GAUDS is an acronym for Goats and Underdogs. I wanted to talk about who the goats were, who the underdogs, who, like, because it's always that conversation.
Really give people their flowers.
Yeah, but it was more like in depth. Like I have to wake up every day. I have to watch First Take.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith said something. He said, it's about 3 years ago. And Stephen A. is arrogant. I love it. He's like, players telling me be quiet, but if I'm being honest with you, I'm more famous than 80% of the NBA.
Yeah.
And I was like, he right.
Yep.
I mean, when you start taking away the Hardens, the rest of them, you start just looking at I don't know, I can't name 5 players on the Hawks. Can you? I mean, I Trae Young. Can you name the #1 draft pick?
No.
I can't either. But we know Steve. So when he said that, I was like, we in a new world.
Yeah.
The world is different now.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, I feel like I could be the Stephen A. Smith of music, of culture.
Yeah.
That's what my plan was. But then I start the GAUDS Show, and it's just me by myself. And then now people want me to interview them, and now the GAUDS Show is an interview show.
Right.
And I'm like, I didn't want to interview people.
Right.
I don't want to be a journalist. I ain't no journalist. I want to argue like we do. Like I want to talk shit, laugh, joke, everything. Yeah. So I created the GAUDS Show, and then I had in my head, I did this thing called the Atlantic Commission, because all I want to do is argue and debate.
And that was huge, man.
It was, man.
That was huge.
I'm gonna bring it right. I'm gonna get it right. But I just wanted to argue, so I just was like, man, that's debatable.
Yeah.
That's
and
debatable.
it comes in perfect timing, bro, because I was speaking on earlier, like your name been, buzzing around in the media.
Yeah.
And for good reasons, man, because you spoke on reasons why Atlanta couldn't have certain types of media. Specifically like going into the rumor mill vibe and things like that. But then, man, people started reacting. You started getting good reactions all across from some of the, bigger media personalities in New York and in LA. But the big thing about it was that, the consensus was that, they're trying to downplay Atlanta media. And, are saying that Atlanta media is.
By the way, you got a good shout out. I was happy that you got a shout out when he said
I was happy that I got a shout out too, but I also took it personally because, as being one of the, forefathers in this Atlanta media space, it's like, I took it personal that like all of the, other people like yourself or Lala or Beehive, And I called all of y'all.
Yeah.
I was calling everybody.
Me and you and me. I did a show Monday. That's how we did it.
Right.
By the way, thank you, Adam, for saying what you said, because we probably would have never did this or did this at another time. But it was like, now let's talk about media in Atlanta and just to expound on what you were saying.
Sure. Even
when I spoke about it, I'm a person where I don't care about fanfare, because if I care about fanfare, if the applause can make me, the boos can break me. So I don't get too high, too low. So Sean Simmons, Ferrari, I call him Sean, I'm sorry. Ferrari Simmons and BT, my brother BT, hit me like, yo, man, and big homie Kodak, yo, ain't nobody from Atlanta on the list. And I'm like, oh, for real? Can you come talk? I'm like, why not? So I'm like listening to them, and I'm like, so when you think about media, right, you got to think about it like, as much as dope as academics and those guys are, they're very polarizing. You know, and have you ever seen academics outside?
Nah.
I haven't either.
I've never.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know nobody that has, right? By the way, smart on his behalf.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Like, because he says crazy shit. Because the crazy thing, what really put me on the academics, if I'm being honest with you, was the Vic Mensa.
Oh, yeah, Vic Mensa?
Vic Mensa. Remember when Vic Mensa was like, I really want to slap the shit out of you. And I was like, what the I'm like, wow, like, what's going on?
Academics was really instrumental in, bringing a lot of attention to what was going on in Chicago during that time. And, some people say that he may have instigated,
perpetuated
some of those beefs and even some of the killings that happened.
Exactly.
I mean, now, him covering that, and he feels that he was doing his journalistic duty in covering that blew him up and made him huge. But in a lot of people's eyes, they didn't.
I don't think he was doing journalistic view. I think he was a kid that was fascinated by this violent culture, and he was making videos on it. I don't think he knew what he was doing. I would hope he didn't. Yeah. I would hope that he wasn't purposely perpetuating or propelling violence in our community. I just would pray that that's not who I am. And one thing about me is I don't look at people as bad people or I just think that people are misguided. Like, I used to steal when I was a kid because I thought that was what you had to do to get shit. I don't steal now, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really punish people, but that really, that was the first time I knew academics. And, I was just, we was talking, they was like, why don't you think? And I was like, well, first of all, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck if they don't knowledge us? But then it was like, hold up, man. Atlanta, they got guns. And look what academics does. He act like niggas in Atlanta like that. Like Atlanta niggas is gangster. See, brother, you can't do that with me.
And the way that he was talking, it's like you could even tell, like the way that he was directing the conversation, it's like you're not even on the same page with what's being spoken about.
But what I was trying to make him see is that watching Boys in the Hood, nigga bumping to a nigga at the little swap meet or whatever they at, bumping to a nigga like, yo, you bumped me. What that nigga do to get him off him? Right. I got it on me. That changes the conversation, Absolutely. Right? When we was kids and there was a fight breakout, he got a gun, changed the conversation. What I was trying to help him see was that in Atlanta, everybody has guns. You can walk into Dick's Sporting Goods and buy an AK and leave with it. Yeah. And bullets and leave with it. And the police can pull you over and you can be like, here's my receipt. In New York, they're violent, right? But if you get caught with a gun, Plesko Burris went to jail for 3.5 years for shooting himself. Right. Because he had a gun. In Atlanta, we don't have gun laws. Right. So all I'm saying is that makes us a little bit more cautious about how we approach each other. Absolutely. Because, they always say Atlanta's fake. Like they don't really fuck with each other there, but when they out of town, they do. Well, that's only true because everybody has guns. Niggas say I got a shooter. All you need to be a shooter is have a gun. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't want to bring it up because it's an unfortunate situation, but when we look at the King Von situation. Yeah. King Von, from what I heard, he was that nigga. You didn't play with him. He was like the one. I heard like street niggas like, yo, dog, he was whipping a nigga ass. Yeah. Right? And he probably didn't even, he probably wasn't even thinking this is a fight. But everybody has guns. And a scared nigga can kill you just as much as a hard nigga can. And not only that, a scared nigga might kill you first because he's scared. And we have laws here that protect the scared.
For real.
I feared for my life. That's why the guy, from what I know, that did it ain't in jail.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, Ack. I wasn't saying that like we the hardest niggas. I'm just saying everybody has guns and we have laws here that protect us. Yeah. That's why there's no mafia in Atlanta knocking on your door like, hey, I need a piece of this. Right. Knock one more time.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Knock one more time.
Right.
Nigga, I could kill you dead right here and the police won't arrest me because I could say you was threatening my life and here's my proof. Yeah. That's all I was saying, bro. And what I was speaking about Adam, because first of all, I'm a fan of academics and I'm a fan of Vlad. Yeah. I think Vlad has probably the best hip hop platform for journalists. Yeah. Journalism. Whether he's white, whether you like him, whether he's a culture vulture, I've seen him. I watch his interviews and he make the most non-interesting person like sometimes he'll have like, who the fuck is this? They got 276,000 views. Yeah. That's because Vlad asked the great questions.
Right. And people call Vlad the police, but it's like, yo, you don't have to answer the question.
Bruh, but what I'm saying is, what I was saying was that you and I can't ask those questions.
For sure.
That's all I was saying.
Because those are questions like, because some of that stuff, those are questions I would never, ask.
Nigga would be like, nigga, what the fuck?
And then some of them questions is questions just, I don't know, like just.
It's incriminating.
I don't even want to know the answer to.
That's what I'm saying, nigga. Vlad was interviewing Big Un, and he says, Lance Unrivera, he says, did Jay-Z stab you? Nigga, I would never. I just wouldn't because, you know what I'm trying to say? So all I was saying is that it's hard for these platforms to be built. By the way, the Kardashians can be built in Atlanta. Nigga, this is a black city. Them black girls would have whipped their ass in the club. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, Atlanta is just different. We hold each other to a certain higher standard because we don't have to code switch. Yeah. We don't have to kiss another race ass to be money. You ain't kissing nobody's ass to have this. It's your shit. Yeah. I ain't kissing nobody's ass to have my shit. It's my shit. Absolutely. So all I'm trying to explain is the culture that makes us unique and different. Yeah. And then, academics did what he did. But when I'm not a fan of Adam because to me, he perpetuates. Yeah. He sits down with gangsters and he talks about it. Now, Wack doing it is different.
Right.
Wack is active.
Right.
We've seen, Wack is, is a different. He's a street dude. He understands the penalty, right? But you, a white man, talking about this. You know what happened to one of these young black kids if they harmed you, and you perpetuating it. So for me, I was just saying that. And but just because I'm not a fan of Adam, don't mean I don't respect what he's done. Right. That's another thing. I just wouldn't do it.
Right, yeah, like we just, yeah.
Nigga, I want to go outside. Yeah. When I walked up, it was a young kid standing outside. I think his name was either producer, J-Mac or something like that. He producer. I don't know who he is, but if I was academics, I'd be nervous. Who the fuck is he? I'm just being honest, because he might be a nigga Chicago cousin.
Yeah.
I don't have no enemies, bro.
And they try to say like, well, they in Atlanta got to make the relationships with the artists, and that's why they so concerned. But it's like, nah, it's just the fact that we all moving around in the cultures that everybody's outside.
Bro, we all going to the same places. Yeah. We gonna run into each other, and when it was real rap beef, it would be times where they'd say such and such is up here at such and such, and it would be a shootout right after. Because that's just Atlanta, bro. It's just ignorant niggas my brother got shot at a video shoot. My brother's one of the realest street niggas ever. This is my brother, he got shot because he slapped the nigga, and the nigga didn't want to fight it back, so he shot him. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying everybody has guns. That's all I'm saying, bro. So yeah, it's funny how they don't respect Atlanta, but they gonna respect us when it's all said and done.
For sure. I'm excited about it because I feel like it's gonna bring like just a whole new energy to this media world, and for us to all.
And I heard Adam is coming here in a couple days, and he's been hitting people like, I'm coming. You come talk to me.
Word.
Because I told me and Ack would text. I'm like, bro, I would love, because they don't understand who I am. See, this the difference, bro.
And that's the thing. And see, when I was seeing all that's the thing. When I saw all of these people speak, I was laughing. I'm like, they don't really know, right? Because they were calling you a radio dude. Yeah. They were, like saying he's old school hip music industry, and I'm like, these folks don't even know. So I can't wait.
So for me, it's like I want to talk to them because number one, it ain't no beef. Right. Just because I'm not a fan of what you do, don't mean I don't like you. I'm not a fan of the game, the way you play the game, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, they'll respect it. But I ain't gonna lie, I was happy that they shouted you out.
Yeah, nah.
That's because in my mind it was like, well, at least he acknowledging a real one.
Yeah. Nah, for
sure. What if he would have said somebody else that the city don't really, I don't know who that could be, but what if he said some culture? By the way, you can't be a culture vulture in Atlanta.
Right, nah.
They will get your ass.
Nah, they ain't playing.
They will rob you in the mall. Yeah. They will it's just different, bro. These little niggas is different out here, bro, and they all got guns and they got scooters. Little scooter bikes.
Right.
Oh, nigga, that's why you laugh. When you see them scooters, it's some shit about to go down, because that's how they get you. They rob you and they get on the scooter and then they gone.
Yeah. Man, tell me about this Southside Day at the Lake, bro.
Southside Day at the Lake. Shout out to Tory 100. This is guy Tory 100. You know how this is, man. You in Atlanta, you building, you got this, but you know Milwaukee got a place in your heart that I'm pretty sure is, you know what I'm trying to say?
I mean, I was blessed to go to Milwaukee during Juneteenth and go to Sherman Park and speak in front of 2,000 people, 5,000, you know?
Yeah, so this guy Tory 100, brother of mine, I seen him run for city council for College Park. I seen him, he was doing Old Nat Day, and you know, he was doing all this shit from the community, and I was just like, and then it's like, I heard Old Nat Day wasn't happening. So I saw him at the 50-yard line. I was like, yo, bro, like, and you know, niggas in College Park, if you go to College Park and say my name, Nick, everybody know me. So Tory was like, yo, bro, like, fuck with me. I'm like, I'm gonna fuck with you. So, you know, I hit him, he came to the office, and he was like, how we gonna do Old Nat Day? I was like, then let's not do Old Nat Day. Let's find another thing to do. Let's do the Southside reunion or something like that. And let's give away this. And he was like, okay. And I was like, I'm here to block for you. That's what I mean by serving. I'm like, I'm a block for you. Stand back. I got you. Because you've been on the ground helping these kids when I was in the air getting my money. And as a man, I gotta appreciate that.
That's real.
I gotta appreciate that. So how can I help you today, my brother? And you know, Southside Day, shout out to P and Luda. We literally said, I just want to tell this conversation because P is a real nigga. Yeah. So the object was the world record for laptops given away in one day is 691. Wow. So I said, let's give away 700, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna call Tit, Lotto, 2 Chainz, Luda, P, everybody, Gunna, everybody I know from the South Side. Like, yo, just donate X amount of dollars. Get 10 minimum, get 100 if you can. I called P, I was like, yo, P, like, you know, whatever you want to get, 10, 100. He said, how many you need? I said, well, we trying to go for the record 700. He said, how much is that? I told him, he said, you'll have it tomorrow. P bought all 700. Wow. So then then Luda was like, I got to be a part of this. So I'm like, well, P bought them all. So he was like, what else then? Go bigger. So I was like, let's do 1,000. And let's do this, this, and this. And I told them what it was. Luda paid. I didn't even get a chance to get to everybody else. Yeah. And for me, it's like, bro, we community leaders, bro. Yeah. We the Malcolm X and the Martin Luther King. It's just a different variation. Right. And to me, it's like, I want to show kids that, number one, you can dress like me, dress like yourself, get money, and still be cool in your community. Absolutely. And do it. And to me, the Southside Reunion is a great opportunity to do that. Jock is hosting it. We got OJ Juice Man coming through. We honoring Jermaine Dupri. We giving him the Southside Legend Award. JD is coming. So it's like a real... Like, I'm like happy. You know why I'm happy? I was in the barbershop yesterday. And you know, niggas don't know who niggas is. This dude was talking, man, Southside Reunion coming, boy. Everybody, the whole Southside talk about that. I'm like, that's me. Get out of here. I'm like, nigga, look at the flyer. That's my name. He's like, yo. I'm like, okay, this something happening right now. Y'all should come.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So important for us to, you know, step in our communities, man, and show these people, because we inspire so many people. And like you said, there's so many people that want to be that next Reid, that want to be.
And if they can't touch us, right, they gonna think that it ain't real.
Right. Right.
That's what I'm saying. I know I was in the air. I know you saw we was in LA, New York. I'm getting this money. I'm in Paris. I'm gonna get this money. Yeah. But now I'm like, damn, I got a lot of money, but I ain't helped nobody. Yeah. So I went to the source that I saw helping for the last 20 years, and I said, nigga, I'm your back. And I'm like, I'm here to make you the king. Yeah. It's like, what? I'm like, you the king now. We gonna make you the king. We just did Streets 945 this morning, talking about it. He just called me like, yo, man. My lady was in the car. She heard it. He was like, yo, man, my wife just want to tell you thank you. Because you really, like, you say the things that need to be said for me that I could never say. Yeah. Because, you know, it's hard to say I'm this. It's hard. You can't. That's what I'm saying. You ain't supposed to beat your chest. Let another nigga stand up and be like, nah, I got this. That's what brotherhood is. Yeah, that's why every time I see you, I speak life into you. Yeah, I ain't never seen you and we ain't never had don't matter what it is. I checked on moms, everything. Because I speak life into you because you my brother. I do that for all my brothers. Right. And I do that for brothers that I don't know because I love us. Yeah. And I know anybody else is. Right. And if you can't see one nigga do right, it feels impossible.
Yeah, that's real.
Everybody gonna do wrong.
That's so real. And it's so and it's so rare for people to be in that space to do what you do, how you do that. So when people see that and coming from a person in the position you in, it inspires them to be like, all right, I gotta like get successful, but then I gotta get successful so I can show that like it's some real niggas that can like.
Bro, I cried. I used to push wheelchairs at the airport. I only cried when I saw one celebrity in my life. It was Master P. I remember watching him walk through the airport, and I'm like, nigga, that's P. And now me and P be on the phone talking, laughing. People like, Reid, don't let that. And I'm like, nigga, you are Master P, bro. I skipped school in 11th grade to go watch Bout It. And saw you like, it's like, my heroes are now my partners. My heroes are now people that I break bread with. Like, and I want kids to know like that's possible if you do right. You gotta honor it though. A lot of niggas want to get to the top because they believe they chosen. If the world didn't choose you, you gotta choose yourself and show the world that you deserve it, and they'll give it to you. Because me and you are witnesses of that. Because you couldn't have told me in a million years that you couldn't have told me 7 years ago that this is what we'd be doing.
Nah, for sure.
Nigga, Spitty gonna be running marketing for this label. I'll be running, and that's what we thought. Come on, bro.
Absolutely. Can you talk about the Leverage Your Influence agency? And I mean, that just as a mindset, but then also that, you know, being the agency.
So it's really the mindset.
For sure.
I remember I would be in these rooms, and let me tell you the interesting part about working at a label. So when you were young and you coming up, you pray for the label. You pray for it, Spitty, like, oh my God, I want to get a deal. I'm gonna do. And when you inside, you realize that they're preying on you. Not pray, P-A-R-Y, P-R-E-Y. So then I started realizing that the labels really need the artists. I thought the artists need the labels. So I remember when I left my last situation, I was talking to Tech, me and Tech, shout out to Tech 2 Chainz manager, and Hitmaker. We was at the Kanye Donda 2 event in Miami. We all in the suite. So, you know, Tech was telling me he just signed, re-up with Def Jam. I was like, dope. And I was like, why? And he was like, you know what, Ray? You know, like, this probably with this. And I was like, not being funny or nothing. And I went to Def Jam's Instagram, and I said, Def Jam has like 700,000 followers. Tit got 5 million. He can press a button and talk to more people than y'all can. But y'all signed to them. And I was like, you have more influence than the company you're signed to. When a company signs you, they sign you for your influence. Your name and likeliness is all the same. It's not like it used to be where the celebrities only had it. Everybody has it. Because if I'll give you an example, it's a certain executive that I can't stand because he tried to kill me in the game. My homegirl worked for him. I still made sure I looked out for her. I don't like him, but I need you to win. And they was trying to sign an artist that I was cool with, and I got on the phone. I said, yo, sign because of her. And she called me. She was like, Ray, you a real nigga because I know you don't like such and such. And I was like, it ain't about him. It ain't about me. It's about us. And we got to speak up for each other. So for me, it's like, that's influence. You got influence. You could press a button and talk to people. Why are you asking somebody for a check?
That's so real.
If you can press a button and talk to people, why the fuck are you asking for a check? Talk to people about what you're doing, or talk about what you're into and watch the checks flow.
Like talk to other check writers and talk about,
Nigga, talk to the world about talk to the world about what you do. This is nothing but content about what we do that we're telling the world, and you're monetizing it. That's leveraging your influence at its finest. So all I did, I just started a company called LYI because I was like, bro, people undervalue influence. You know what it really came from? I'm gonna tell you where it really came from. Because the Tech and the Hitmaker, that came after this thought process. I'm gonna ask you a question because you're a brilliant brother and you want to run a media network. How much would you pay right now if you had to buy BET?
Man, we
had this conversation, did we not?
Boy, we had this conversation.
This is where I came from. So so since we had it, I'm gonna just tell the people.
That's funny.
BET is valued at about $3 to $4 billion. The Shade Room is valued at about $65 to $90 million. If I had to ask you, where would you rather your content be every day, BET or the Shade Room? What would you say?
So see, that's why when we first had the conversation, it was difficult because I remembered my thought process of the value in BET. I don't see that as being as high of a value as like a Shade Room.
If you could make a deal right now where they're gonna say, we're gonna post your clips 3 times a day, do you want it on BET or the Shade Room?
Shade Room.
Why is Shade Room not worth as much as BET? because we don't value influence.
Right.
We value structure. Structures get taken down every day.
And these conglomerates are kind of grandfathered in too, so it's, you know what I mean?
Tupac has been gone 26 years. Do you not still feel his influence right now?
Absolutely, like he's still alive.
And his influence right now has his whole estate probably worth $300-400 million. And he only had 5 years, and that's how much influence he has. So I'm just telling people, don't worry about the structure, worry about the influence. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you. Somebody asked me a question. That's how it all came about. I'm like, I got 19,000 followers. Most of them follow me that do music. I'm gonna talk about music. And then now I got 157 or 158,000 organic.
Right.
Talking about what I know. I leveraged my influence and I turned it into a 6-figure business on its way to a 7-figure business. That's what I'm saying.
Branding yourself and
it's all about
So and that's what you're showing people, like even how to like sell your product, how to sell yourself.
I'm doing it every day. I got brand deals, I got partnerships, I got sponsors, all because I'm talking about what I knew anyway. That's all I'm doing, is just talking about what I know. They don't think like that, so that's why I put LYI.
Nah, that's what's up, man. Man, what else you got coming up, bro? What else you excited about, man?
I wrote this book that I think is going to change the music industry. I'm shopping it right now. Everybody who I've let preview it has told me it changed their life. It's on the music business, but it's written the way I talk. So it's called The Artist Agreements. That's the working title.
Okay.
And I believe that it's going to change the entire world. It's artist development in the book. It's artist development, executive development, management development, winner mindset development in a book. It's written like the 48 Laws of Power, telling stories of my life. Some of the stories I've told here on the lesson that I learned from it. It's like, I didn't know I was going to be a millionaire, Spitty. I just wanted to be somebody.
Right. It's like you say it and you wish it, but it's like,
you can't even allow yourself to get there because you know the work is going to take. You can't live there. You got to live here, but know you will end up there. So you got to discipline yourself like you're going to be that one day. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Nah, that's what's up, man. What would you say is one of the biggest life lessons that you've learned?
It's not about me. It's always about us. I make decisions for us. And what I mean by us, meaning like, shit, Adam straight just pushed us to the side. Like, does Atlanta even have anything? And then goes, DGB, that's a win. I'm like, shit, he mentioned, if I triggered you to mention my nigga name and send his shit up, that's a win for me. Because it's not about me. It's about us. That's what they didn't teach us as black people. That's why Jewish people are so powerful, because they make it about them, to keep them. And we don't make it about us, we make it about me. So for me, the biggest life lesson I learned is it's not about us. It's not about me. It's always about us. You'll never see me brag on myself or what I did without giving props to somebody else or telling you about who inspired that story, because it's not about me. This is all God engineering, God given. I just want to honor it by making sure that I give praise to the people that deserved it or played a role in it. It's all about us, bro. Like, I'm proud of us, my nigga. I love us, bro, and I want to see us progress, but I know that we have to change our mentality first. So how can I contribute? Put a camera on me. Let me ask a question or two. But let me also show you I got a nice roller, I got a nice chain, I live a nice life, my lady is beautiful, so my life is great. I want y'all to understand that it's possible, because I didn't think it was for me. That's me doing that for us.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what it is.
Not a stunt.
Not
like,
for me,
a humble
for us.
Like let me show you like what you can also.
Because think about this. When we started this interview, we spoke about seeing Dame. And that made us feel like I can do that.
Absolutely.
If we don't see that, do we think that? I don't know.
Nah, because you thinking that you just got to be this square, like buttoned up person.
Or perfect nigga, like, and we saw a nigga that talk like us, look like us, act like us, scream like us,
like he backstage, like they ribbing, they
on stage dancing, fight like I'm like, bro, I want that life. I want that life. I see it now. I'm gonna go get it. So yeah.
Absolutely, that's what's up, man. Any advice that you can give anybody out here, any artist, any exec, anybody that's on the come
Perfect.
Up?
We stop searching for validation outside of yourself. And I ain't talking about like from the world. It could be from your mama. It could be from your brother. It could be from your friends. I always ask, do you believe? They don't believe in me, Ray. I don't give a fuck what they believe. What do you believe? Because your belief is enough for you. Their belief is going to get them where they got to go, but your belief is enough for you. Yeah. So for me, I always say, like, dog, I know I'm dope, so that's why I can tell you you dope. I know I'm working hard. I know I'm going. That's why I could compliment you. Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm trying to say? So for me, it's like, you know, because I validate me. Yeah. I teach my kids, y'all validate you. My kids, my son will be like, what you think, Dad? Fuck what I think. What do you think? I love everything that you are. So whatever you think, I'm going to support it. Don't worry about Daddy. Yeah. Daddy, because your thoughts is going to take you there. My thoughts is going to take me there. So for me, it's like, stop looking for validation. Stop getting mad that they don't see you. Stop getting mad that the world don't acknowledge you. Nigga, do you see you? Right. Do you acknowledge you? Yeah. And if that ain't enough for you, go look in your mirror and ask yourself why you ain't enough for you.
Give yourself them affirmations.
Give yourself that. I know I'm that nigga. I don't believe it no more. I know I am. Yeah. Because I went to the top in different worlds. Nigga, I went to the top in different worlds, my nigga. And by the way, I want to show you how you could do it and everybody around me. Absolutely. That's what really makes me that nigga. Because I could be, if I was a sucker and didn't think it was real, I wouldn't want to tell nobody.
To that testament, bro, you just made me think about, you know, like a few experiences that I've even had came from you sharing an experience, and you know what I mean? Like, you brought a whole collective of us and took us over to the Virgin Islands.
I forgot about that.
Will Packer was there.
Will Packer was there, back then.
You know what I mean? B. Cox, like, just, I mean, but that was something where I remembered you telling me, like, hey, Spitty, like, I want you to come over here to the VI. I want you to experience, like, what I've experienced with these guys all these years, but I also want you to just see, like, that there's so much more.
And not only that, what you do is appreciated.
Right.
What you do has value, because a lot of people don't think that what they do has value because someone didn't pay them for it. Right. Do you think it has value? Yeah. Fuck the world. Do you believe your life, everything that you and I are gonna become is gonna be based on what you and I do for ourselves. So for me, I just want people to understand and kill the entitlement. Kill the entitlement. Kill the expectations. This is my brother. I'm still excited that I'm here in this yo shit. I could easily feel like I'm supposed to be here. That's my nigga. Nah, bro. Bro, you
because we done earned it. We done watched each other earn it and build it, and the sweat and the you know what I mean, the sweat equity put in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. Like, bro, I'm just proud of us, and if someone has sat through this, I just want them to know they could do this shit too. I mean, like if you sat through this, all I say is now go apply it.
Yeah, real spill.
Go apply it.
Nah, man. Ray, you got any shout outs you want to give before we get up out of here, bro?
Shout out to my team. I know I'm a lot. I know if y'all think I talk a lot here, imagine working with me every day. Shout out to them for taking my shit. Shout out to them for believing in me. And shout out to everybody that's watched or comment or anything. Like, and even if you comment bad, shout out to you. Because you took time out your day to enrich yourself. Maybe you didn't get enriched, but that's not on me. Yeah, and I got one more thing. I'm writing this book too. Me and this guy Ash Caps writing this book that I think is gonna be very revolutionary to hip hop music and our culture. I'm trying to do revolutionary shit. Like, obviously make money from it, but I'm trying to do shit that other people say, damn, I want to do that too. That's why I want to celebrate us. I want us to win. So that's it for me.
Word. Okay, last question though. Do you think that AI is going to take over the music industry, or will it, like, you know, destroy the industry with what they're trying to do with AI?
I think that we're in trouble. And I think that we have to learn to control AI before AI starts controlling us. And that comes from, it's like when streaming first came. It was artists, I was like, fuck that, I'm never doing it. Now streaming is everything. If they're saying it's coming, it's already here. Right. Learn it, learn how to use it as a tool, learn how to take it to your advantage, and you know, be creative, bro, because we in trouble. Yeah. We in trouble. I always say, like, what if AI is the aliens that are like, that was sent here to learn us, to take over from us? Like, what if we so stupid we gave it to them? Right, like, you know what I'm saying? But like, I'm afraid for us, man, especially black people. I'm afraid for us because, you know, we usually are left behind on a lot of shit. And, you know, it's niggas out here creating songs with AI. It's a nigga could sit down here and be me right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's scary as fuck, bro. But, you know, that's the world we in. I just got to go. So that's what I'd be my answer to that. Right, pray and learn. Yes, sir. Because I don't have the answer. Because that's what I'm doing.
Well, Ray, I appreciate you pulling up and jumping off
the porch. I finally jumped off the porch. Let's go.